You'll never be able to relive those summers.
No, man. All those extreme Whoppers when I was 15, there's never going to be anything quite like it.
No.
And it was still a very good burger. I do like a Whopper. The size of it, really, it feels like every bite you're getting a real good mouthful of stuff. Their bacon is pretty decent there. It really tastes like a little thin, but properly made bacon. It doesn't taste like bacon that was just however McDonald's makes their bacon, for example. Like it's these crispy little, doesn't feel in your mouth like real bacon.
Yeah, I'll give you that. The bacon was pretty good. Pretty on point.
But their pickles are good. The onions are good. They got a nice piece of fresh tomato and lettuce in there. They don't go easy on the mayonnaise. They really they go crazy with the mayonnaise, I find. There was a little barbecue sauce in mine, obviously. It was a little bit drippy because of that extra barbecue sauce. But I still really like a Whopper. I enjoy that burger.
Okay. So it lived up to its your previous visits.
Yeah.
The 15 years ago.
Well, no, it didn't. It can never be as good as the burgers of old. Yeah. Through the filter of nostalgia. The burger of my childhood memories I can never recapture that burger.
You can't go home again.
Exactly. It's like I'll never have that first kiss again.
It's the burgers. Just kissing burgers in your lunch break.
So Matthew, what did you think of your Whopper? You just got the standard classic Whopper. What did you think?
Well, I think I mentioned before how I didn't really care for it.
Well, you're like, I need to think about it. I'm not sure how I feel.
With a bit of thought, it was okay. I wasn't impressed by the meat of it. I really wanted a bit of a thicker patty.
Mm-hmm.
The sauces were good. The mayonnaise was good. The tomatoes were not good.
Well, yeah.
For someone who
personal preference
despises those little guys, I took them out. The rest of the burger was fine, but I felt like I was eating so much bun.
Okay, because it's such a wide burger.
Yeah. So every bite had so much. The bun to meat ratio was just not. I wasn't having it.
Compared to some of the other fast food burgers, where do they have a thicker patty that is beating the Whopper?
Well, I think Harvey's has a thicker patty. McDonald's doesn't, but if I'm ordering McDonald's, I'm probably ordering a double quarter pounder.
Double quarter pounder? That's a half a pound.
It's true.
So that's a big burger.
Yeah.
All right. I even think Wendy's patties are maybe thicker than Burger King, but I was just curious what was coming to mind because maybe you should have got the double burger. I feel bad that maybe Burger King's rating is going to suffer because I thought you should also try a stacker.
Now by the end, I needed the room for the stacker and the other, so I was able to fit 2 burgers in.
While we're still on the topic of Burger King. What did you think of other things? You mentioned the restaurant a little bit, but like French fries.
I've always liked their French fries. They're pretty good. They're I don't know. They're just. It's hard to explain. They're solid. Does that make sense to you? They're solid. They're the right thickness. I've always liked their French fries. I don't like Harvey's as much. I don't like McDonald's as much. These were always pretty good. Like I'll finish them all the time.
See, now McDonald's French fries are beloved. People are crazy for those French fries. Yeah. And they're good and all. I guess they're all right. They taste good. They got a lot of salt on them. And I feel like that's most of what's making them taste good. Sorry, Matthew, for speaking so highly of salt now that you can't have any more.
Still having salt. Having salt right now. A little intravenously, so you can't see it.
And the burger, I always found the Burger King fries don't feel in your mouth like they were ever a piece of potato.
Yeah?
Like, I feel like it's a crispy outer shell filled with, like, potato paste inside.
That's how I feel, too, but I feel it's pretty good. It's almost like mashed potatoes.
Yeah. And you love mashed potatoes. I'm not saying they're bad. They're just so strange. They don't feel like a piece of potato that was fried. They feel like something else.
Yeah.
I know I don't care for their onion rings because the shell is too thick and crispy.
Hurts your teeth?
No. It's not that hard. But it's just I like onion enough that I basically just want a lot of onions.
Okay.
I don't want all this batter on the outside. Go easy with the batter. Go hard with the onions.
Okay.
And I find it interesting, actually, how we're talking about Burger King, but there's no helping of mentioning McDonald's so frequently.
Yeah, it's. I've been trying to stay away from it, but everything needs to be compared, I guess.
I mean, they made their own Big Mac.
Yeah.
I wonder why. It's because Burger King will forever be the number 2.
Always in the shadow of those golden
Always
arches.
in the shadow of those golden arches. Yeah, very well said, Matthew.
And how sad is the image of this king, this crown, just in the shadow of something, just so much more majestic.
Well, Matthew, I think there's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
Which may or may not make you feel better or worse about the king himself. That this, I mean, we're in Canada, but this is America, right? Royalty has no place here in America. But a giant corporation is the real king here. The king royalty, you will never match up to this giant corporation that is McDonald's. You will always be in its shadow because you are but royalty, not the real king of America. The corporation is the king.
but I guess I agree with you, but we're Canada.
Well, I mean, okay, fair enough. The queen is on our money, but we are still in America. North America, South America is all America.
I suppose. Is it Burger King that has bought out some Tim Hortonses?
Burger King has merged with Tim Hortons.
Hortons.
Those two companies are now one company.
So that's super Canadian, and that's we're all part of the monarchy. Aren't we?
The Commonwealth? I mean, the U.S. isn't part of the Commonwealth.
No. So yeah, I guess I don't really know. I feel like there's still a place in this world for the king. I mean, I don't even think like we've got the queen.
Yeah.
Out there, on that island.
Sure. England.
We need a king, and I don't see anybody who's lived up to it.
Well, there's going to be a king when the queen dies.
Yeah, but is that through blood or through marriage?
That's through blood.
Through blood. Who's the king going to be?
It's either going to be the queen's son or grandson. The son may say, "Not me. I am not suited," because he's already shamed the crown by remarrying.
Oh,
and that's looked down upon.
Now, what kind of is this like? Is this the kind of king and queen that can be overthrown?
Yes and no. Yes, because they are the king and queen, and I guess a lot of taxes in the United Kingdom do end up going to the crown.
But they're not defending themselves from this United Kingdom.
No. Honestly, if everyone wanted to overthrow them, they would be overthrown very easily. They're more of a figurehead, and people kind of like this tradition.
Okay. I need to see my king in battle before I can call him the true king.
Well, what if it's like, I mean, in North America, we've had other kings other than the King of England. I mean, there's Elvis.
Elvis went to war though.
That's true. That's true. He was in the army, and
did he ever go to war? He was in the army.
Yeah, I don't know if he went to war. He may have just been in the army.
Yeah,
and then he moved his hips and made people blush and faint, and then we crowned him king.
He's more king, I guess. Yeah, so Elvis is the true king. Burger King is second.
Now, Matthew, last week they announced a new iPhone. I'm sure it's got a podcast app so you can listen to this show.
Likely.
It'll be downloaded automatically.
Downgrade. Why would they start taking items off?
Yeah, that's true. But they also, in that same press conference, they brought out the creator of Super Mario to announce a new Super Mario game on your iPhone and iPad.
Oh.
It's called Mario Run. It's going to run. I think you tap the screen to make him jump.
It's called Mario Run?
Mario Run.
Okay.
He's going to be running automatically, I think, when you start the game.
That's half the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why you can play it with only one hand.
Oh,
'Cause you just
okay.
got to do the jumping. You can do wall jumping and stuff. You just got to time your jumping and stuff.
So you're playing this with one hand?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think every now and again there are platforms with arrows pointing in the opposite direction that'll make you change direction for different parts of the level. But it seems like basically you're just tapping to jump. It's like a one finger type of game.
And what's the reason?
Just use that thumb.
I guess people are always on their phones with one hand.
People are always on their phones, and people love Mario. So, I was talking to a former guest of the show, Dane McCarthy, saying, I think it's probably going to be good. Mario is a seal of quality. But during this press conference, the creator of Mario was saying, it's a game you could play with one hand. So you could be in the subway, holding on, playing Mario. You could be eating a hamburger and playing Mario. And that's when I stopped. Like, oh my God, this is the game for me.
Your two loves.
Can I play Mario and eat a burger at the same time? In December, folks, I'm going to update you once this game comes out. Tell you how I do while eating a burger. I won't be able to beat the whole game for sure. So burger won't last as long as the whole game.
I can't believe they sold a game based on that comment. They just sold it to you, and all you had to say was you could eat a burger, and you
and I was like,
have decided at that moment.
Yeah, that was the lightning bolt that hit me. That was like, oh yes, this changes everything.
Wow.
Just like when that first iPhone was released, and they said this changes everything because your iPod is your phone now. It can take pictures. It's got a full touchscreen. You could play video games. This changes everything, is what they said. Mario and hamburgers. This changes everything.
They finally did it.
They finally did it. They cracked the code for me.
And I guess this would be very good for people of the war amps. One-armed people who maybe didn't listen to what's that robot's name again?
Oh, Ibo?
Ibo. Maybe people didn't listen to Ibo. They only got one arm, but now they can play some Nintendo.
That's a good point, Matthew. I just realized that if you are missing a hand, you basically cannot play modern video games.
No, there's probably a lot you can't do. Maybe some stuff you can overcome.
I feel like a lot of things in this world are okay for one hand. Like driving a car, not ideal, but you could do the steering wheel with one hand and then switch over and hit that blinker and then keep driving. Maybe standard is getting a little difficult, but most cars are automatic these days. You can do it. Yeah. Doors, not complicated.
Double doors, what about them?
Yeah. Well, you don't. When are you actually opening both doors of a double door?
Whenever there's double door, I swing both those open.
How many people have you hit with doors, Matthew?
I take a good look at my surroundings, but I make an
Well, on the other side of the door, you don't know.
Whatever, it's their problem.
You be careful on the other side of the door as Matthew's there. Computers, you could use a keyboard and a mouse. You just gotta move your hand back and forth.
Well,
touch screens.
The world's definitely catered to the two-handed.
Sure.
There's place for the one-handed, but even place for the no-handed. But it's a two-handed world.
I suppose that's true.
Until now.
That's right. Now, but let's think about this for a second. How many things do you think in your life would you not be able to do if you only had one hand?
That's quite. I think
about this stuff a lot.
Well, I think I would lose the hand. I'd go into some sort of trauma. I'd have to go into rehabilitation. It would take a while. Sure. Maybe let's say I give myself 6 months and I'm kind of getting back out in the world. But I think at that point, when I sit down, I'm like, I'm going to play some video games. I'm going to hold the control. I'm going to start the game. And then I'm going to realize I can't jump or I can't run. And
could you
it's going to be a lot of
lie
those.
down like an NES gamepad and just use your pinky for the two directions and then use your other fingers for the jump and whatever?
Yeah, but I don't think I would think of that before I played. It'd have to be something. It's not like I would realize beforehand. There's a lot of little things like that. Like I can't play guitar with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's a lot you can learn how to do with one hand. Right?
Well, absolutely. The Paralympics are going on right now. I saw a guy win a medal. He has no arms or legs.
Wow, what did he do?
I think it was swimming. I don't know if he won a race or whatever. But
I would never go in the water.
He was swimming. He had no arms or legs. He just kind of wiggled around.
So he was
and
drowning.
No, man. He was swimming very competently.
I don't understand.
He was a dolphin has no arms or legs, but it's wiggling its body and it's propelling itself.